Okay, a 3-month-long break, a well-deserved break from Godzilla, and now it's time to get back into it with the second installment of the Godzilla anime trilogy. Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle is the second movie in this trilogy of Godzilla films. It's the sequel to last year's Planet of the Monsters, and it picks up right after the first movie, where the biggest Godzilla ever seen has emerged, destroyed half of the ships that tried to flee Earth, and our main character is now being taken in by a native girl, treated of his wounds, and then he meets up with all the survivors as they discover that Mechagodzilla's AI is still functioning, and this leads them to a mysterious city that just came out of nowhere, and they decide to use it as a fort to try to launch another attack on Godzilla, hopefully killing him this time. Now, just like with my review for Planet of the Monsters, this review is going to contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, it's available on Netflix, go check it out, and then come right back to this review. And for those of you who have seen it or don't care about spoilers, then let's delve into the review. So I reviewed Planet of the Monsters when it came out on Netflix back in January, and I was really let down by that movie. It just seemed like a lot of wasted potential. Godzilla doesn't appear that often. In fact, he appears in that movie less than he did in the 2014 American version. There were no human characters at all that I could grasp. There was too much scientific talk going on over a fictional science that really, you only need one scene of explaining it and not the entire movie. But you know what? It was the first film in a trilogy. I figured that with the second one, you could learn from the mistakes of the first one and get things back on track. But there is one problem with this series of movies. They're coming out so close to each other that I don't think anyone working on them has time to take a look at what went wrong at the first one and try to improve on the second one, because this one might be even more of a tease than the last one. And if it's not a tease, then the marketing for this movie is a goddamn lie. Now let me explain why these movies coming out so close to each other is a problem. The first movie came out in November. This one came out in May. It just came out on Netflix here in America, but it was released in Japan on the same day Deadpool 2 was released. No matter which way you look at it, whether it was an animated film or a live action film, it was made around the same time as the first movie, to where they really can't look at all the things that they messed up in the first one and improve. But this movie isn't without its good things. It actually does have a very interesting beginning, where our main character is taken in by this native girl, and this is pretty much a form of humans that have evolved. They have powdered skin, and all their weapons are built using the strongest material in this world, nanometal, which pretty much is to this universe what vibranium is to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And with this entire opening, I'm looking at it and going, okay, I'm digging this. This is a really great way to build this world, which kind of felt very empty and deserted in the first movie, but you're actually expanding on the world. We get a little backstory on the native's god. The way these two native girls talk, and they talk in sync, it's really hard to not look at this and go, their god's Mothra, because they say that their god was killed by Godzilla sometime in the past, but it did leave an egg behind. And with all this together, I would be shocked if they didn't say it was Mothra. They don't say in this movie, but it would just be so weird if they took a complete 180 in the third movie and said, no, it's not Mothra, it's something else. So I really did enjoy the opening, and then after that, the movie just kind of hits a lull. It just moves so slowly, and it just brings back all the things I didn't like about the last one. Too much exposition, too much scientific talk about a fictional science. And once again, the main characters are just downright dull. Once again, Haruo still has a bunch of rage inside him, wanting to kill Godzilla for killing his parents back in the past, even to the point where he sends out an SOS signal to the satellite that's still orbiting Earth, and then he basically tricks them into saying, we're not in trouble, I just needed new men down here to fight Godzilla. And in a way, it's a really dick move for him to do. And he even starts to question later on, am I just so obsessed with killing Godzilla that I've just become not human? And for me, I'm just like, well, yeah, because you're a dull character and that's all you can ever think about. But it's nice that they actually do address this little matter, and it does play a huge part in the end of the film. It very much is, in a way, like the first movie, where it just has the exact same problems that it's kind of hard for me to explain the problems because I'm just going to sound like a broken record where I'm repeating myself. Now, let's get into the elephant in the room. Like I said, this movie came out 2 months ago in Japan. If you read a lot of reviews, you know there is something that happens in this movie, or doesn't happen in this movie, that's really been ticking a lot of people off. So, Mechagodzilla was featured in the last movie. They didn't do anything with him. They pretty much had him in the first movie to set up this movie, and the very first poster we got for City of the Edge of Battle featured Mechagodzilla. And then the official poster has Mechagodzilla towering over Godzilla. So based on everything that I just laid out, based on what Toho has presented to us, we're all expecting Mechagodzilla to be activated in this one and fight Godzilla. Well, that doesn't happen. If you've read all the reviews from Japan, you know that Mechagodzilla does not appear in this movie. I mean, technically he does, and he actually does play an interesting role. Basically, his AI has survived 20,000 years on Earth, and has built this mysterious city that's made of nanometal, and Mechagodzilla's pretty much come up with a lot of defenses for the city. And it's like, okay, you know what? That's actually a very interesting idea, where Mechagodzilla's AI is so intelligent that it could do all this. Now let's build Mechagodzilla and actually put him to use. And they don't do that. What do they have to fight Godzilla this time around? They pretty much revamp their Avatar mechs, because that's pretty much what they are. They remind me of the battle suits in Avatar, and give them wings. And there are only 3 that they have. So you're sending 3 of these vultures, as they're called, to fight Godzilla, but you have the functioning head of Mechagodzilla. You couldn't just build him a new body? For Christ's sake, there's a toy of Mechagodzilla. And, okay, it's disappointing. It is absolutely disappointing that the marketing was built on a lie that we were going to see Mechagodzilla. But hopefully they'll save him for the 3rd movie. I mean, they can't pull this shit twice. Well, Godzilla destroys the entire city, and we can assume that Mechagodzilla's head has been destroyed for good. So, wow, you introduced Mechagodzilla into this series, and not once did you even put him to practical use. Wow, Toho. Wow, wow, wow. I'm at a loss for words. Just wow. When a non-Godzilla movie made in America utilizes Mechagodzilla better than a Japanese-made Godzilla film, then you know you have fucked up something royal. So I don't have anything else to say. This movie somehow managed to be more boring than the last one. Godzilla is in it just about as much as he was in the last movie, and I imagine that if you took his screen time in Planet of the Monsters and City on the Edge of Battle and combined them, he would be in the movie as much as he is in the Gareth Edwards Godzilla from 2014. I want to give this movie a pass. I really, really do, especially since the 3rd movie is promising us King Ghidorah, which, I mean, that's got me hooked. I'm already hooked to see the 3rd movie just because King Ghidorah is going to be in it. But with this movie right here, I cannot, in good conscience, recommend this movie at all. It didn't learn any of the mistakes that the first movie made. Godzilla is still underutilized just like he is in the first movie. It's boring, the characters are bland, the scientific jargon is just... it goes on forever and ever. And like I said a million times before, it's a fictional science, so don't care. Just explain it to us one time and we'll be able to get it. I can't technically say don't waste your money on this because you're watching it on Netflix, so I'll just change this rating to the Netflix special of don't waste your time. It's too long, it drags, and like with the first Godzilla anime, this is just nothing but wasted potential. So that's my review for Godzilla, City on the Edge of Battle. Even though I am still curious to see this final film in the trilogy, I don't have high hopes that it's going to be any good at all. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this review. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment down below if you've seen the movie. Don't forget to support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.